Hey everyone and welcome. In this video we look at a desperate attempt to say that Sweden failed to achieve herd immunity and they did the wrong thing, and the scaremongering the media did to get us all locked down in our homes was the right thing. Before that, Anne, what does Boris the pussy have to do to gain a tiny bit of respect back?
Get Brexit done!
Exactly, get Brexit done. Then the Tories have nowhere to hide over illegals. Then we put their feet to the fire, eh? Put them under pressure, so to speak. Right, let's get into this article of deceit, shall we? It's titled, Lock Mess. Sweden's Lurgy herd immunity plan fails as it's revealed just 15% of residents caught virus despite no lockdown. Now, if you, like me, have been watching other countries' responses, Sweden included, you will know that this is a complete fabrication. But let's read a bit and see what they're trying to pull, shall we? Sweden's Lurgy herd immunity push has seemingly failed as only 15% of residents have antibodies despite there being no lockdown, new research shows. However, lead author, listen to who this is, Professor David Goldsmith says it is too soon to judge Sweden. So why are you judging them already then? As it'll take up to another 2 years to gauge the full impact of measures. Why? Is that because you've all been lying? Of course it is. Sweden's policy of allowing lurgy to spread among the population hasn't delivered the country's goal of herd immunity, according to University College London's analysis. So this is an article from Professor Goldsmith and it's a London report, so we know that it's going to be skewed to the left, don't we? They always are. Let's see if he's lying. Here is another report this guy did with zero bias. Did London lockdown work? English capital has the same level of lurgy antibodies as Stockholm, which stayed open throughout the outbreak, scientists say. I'd like to say, David, Professor, you liar. We have the same as Sweden. Sweden didn't lock down at all. And you're making out they failed. They did nothing and got the same results. Boris, are you listening? All the job losses were pointless, and this professor's lies have just proven it, haven't they? Anyway, let's get back to the article. The country steered clear of imposing a strict lockdown on the population and kept businesses, including restaurants and shops, open. This was done intentionally. Yes, it was, and we were supposed to be going for this as well, till everyone started crying about it. In line with health bosses' plan to boost antibodies naturally, because we're a country of pussies at the minute, which is what the Tories wanted to go for till the media and NHS and the left beat them into submission. Notice I said beat. I was joking. The Tories are blooming puppets at this point to everyone else. They don't even need pushing. They're okay men and women, aren't they? Do that, okay. Do this, okay. You see what I mean? While officials predicted that 40% of Stockholm's population would have become infected with the bug and acquired antibodies by May, the figure was around 15%. How does he know that? Says the University report from London. How does he know that from London? He doesn't, does he? This is another rubbish line, in my opinion. Let's look at another article from scientists, not jumped up lefty authoritarians trying to prove lockdown didn't mess the country up. Sweden's herd immunity pays off. See sharp decline in lurgy cases while the rest of us cower. Doesn't sound like they failed, does it? Here's another one. Sweden could reach herd immunity in weeks, top doctor says. So Swedish doctors, scientists, all say that they are winning. And this graph that I've found shows them compared to us. Remember, when you look at this, we locked down to the expense of cancer and serious illness patients. On the off chance I might add, we might need the beds. Sweden did nothing other than state the usual recommendations. Try not to gather too close, social distance, etc, etc. Pretty much exactly the same. So tell us again, our scientists and doctors, and seemingly professors, why are we still locked down with a recession and 750,000 job losses so far? Let's continue. Professor Goldsmith said, it is clear the rates of viral infection, hospitalisation and mortality per million population are much higher than those seen in neighbouring Scandinavian countries. Oh, here we go again. Sweden has national care centres and have massive amounts of residents in each. The surrounding countries have local-based care homes and each has a hell of a lot less residents in them, so there's less chance of large numbers if any of them get infected. You see where I'm going with that? Numbers, really simple. He added, also the time course of the epidemic in Sweden is different, with continued persistence of higher infection and mortality well beyond the few critical weeks period seen in Denmark, Finland and Norway. Does that graph actually show that? It doesn't, does it? It just shows exactly the same. According to stats from Worldometers, Sweden has had 5,770 deaths from lurgy, compared to 621 in Denmark, 333 in Finland and 256 in Norway. As far as I remember, and I mean I might be wrong on this, if I am wrong please let me know, but they're not counting care home deaths in Denmark, Finland or Norway. Sweden are. Sweden's death rate is not high because of general population deaths. Unfortunately, the Swedish government failed to protect vulnerable people in care homes. What they actually did was they didn't lock the care homes down from visitors, and because of that, they've actually apologised. On their national television, the government came out and actually apologised for it. Professor Goldsmith attributes Sweden's neighbours' success in having low death tolls to strict and more rapidly organised lockdowns at the start of the global pandemic. Well, Professor Goldsmith is either lying or stupid, as I've explained. It's care homes. It's got nothing to do with that. He added, we in the UK would do well to remember we nearly trod the same path as Sweden. I wish we had. At least we wouldn't have 750,000 job losses. There'd be all of those people would still be able to put food on the table, would they not? As herd immunity was often discussed here in early March. Right, this mug's annoying me now. The article with the graph showing the UK and Sweden's death rates are very similar. Difference being hundreds of thousands have lost their ability to work. So who did better, David? You cock. Exactly. Right now, despite strict but tardy lockdown in the UK and more measured Swedish response, both countries have seen high 7-day average lurgy death rates compared to other Scandinavian and European countries. Because they're really locked down at the minute, aren't they? If we don't cure this, they'll just get it later when they come back out and eradicate it. Herd immunity will be what saves us. The Swedes are well ahead of everyone in my opinion, and they already did it. We just drew it out for months. And the other surrounding Scandinavian and European countries did the same, didn't they? Wait till they come out again. Let's see if they did so brilliant then, or if they just prolonged the inevitable, which is what I suspect. However, the BBC points out Sweden's antibody rate is fairly similar to the UK. See how they put this at the end now? This is where the truth comes out. At the top, it's all bullcrap. The broadcaster said it compared with 17% of Londoners found with lurgy antibodies when tested in April and May, and 5 to 10% of people living in Geneva. The uni's researchers say in their findings, published in the Journal of the Royal Society of Medicine, that further study is needed to check the impact of measures 12 months to 2 years after the pandemic began to judge which country's response worked best. Sweden is seeing a very positive decline in lurgy cases following a controversial decision not to go into lockdown. Only controversial to people on the left, the ones that want us all to be locked up forever. Its top epidemiologist had said in July. Sweden's health officials point out that under the Swedish Communicable Disease Act, individuals can be put in quarantine but not town or cities. Speaking to reporters recently in Stockholm, Tegnell said, the curves go down, the curves over the seriously ill begin to be very close to zero. As a whole, it is very positive. You see what I mean? So they're fine with it over there. It's all our lot. And do we really trust our scientists and doctors at the minute, considering how party political they're being? Because I don't trust them as far as I could spit the names, to be honest. He also addressed the question of face masks, which the World Health Organization continues to recommend people use when social distancing isn't practicable. With numbers diminishing very quickly in Sweden, we see no point in wearing a face mask in Sweden, not even on public transport, he said. Daily lurgy death rates, as well as the number of infected in intensive care, have been slowing gradually since April. Some Swedes remain upbeat the country's laid-back approach. Jan Apri, a 51-year-old sales executive, said, I'm not walking around thinking we have a real disaster here in Sweden. I think we have it more or less under control, but we have to be even more careful now after we learned how the virus is spread, especially among elderly people. The Financial Times recently reported that Swedish firms have reaped the benefits of the country's lurgy response. It said that figures showed that the no-lockdown strategy has helped businesses. Now, what's my opinion? Well, our elites are trying their best to sweep this pandemic under the carpet, aren't they, by trying to discredit other nations that did much better? I'd rather be in a country completely free to live your life than a country that are doing sweeping lockdowns based on infections. Sweden are winning even with their deaths, in my opinion. You heard the Swedish scientists. They are 100% confident, and this idiot professor is salty. Probably because he advised the mass lockdown and he's salty someone told him to hold their beer for him. Partisan rubbish from so-called intellectuals again. I swear, universities, they make buffoons or fraggles, don't they? They don't make intelligent people anymore. They haven't even got intelligent people teaching. No offence if you're a good professor. I don't mean you. The evidence is there though, isn't it, for a lot of them. Now, what's your opinion? I'd like to know your opinion on this one. You notice how the article changed from at the beginning, they did rubbish, they've not done it, they've not done any good, and then by the end of it, it's going, they did bloody brilliant, and all of the people are really happy about it, and not one of them is kicking off in Sweden about the way the government have handled anything. Have you noticed the disparity compared to what's happening here? You've got mass Karens running around assaulting people because of not wearing a mask. We've seen all the videos. Even if you're exempt. They're just loving it, aren't they? They're loving the ability to be able to tell people what to do. Well, Karen, not listening. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon, everyone. Share it out. Stay safe, and I'll see you on the next one.